Hi Cancer, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your August 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic Coral spread as always, and I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. So let's see what we get. Okay, so we have the South Node, which is actually in Sagittarius, which is your sixth house of health, work, daily routines. We have 3, so that's your third house communication, which is Virgo, and there's going to be a lot of energy there in August. We're going to have Mars in there, Venus in there for about the first half of the month, and Mercury, I believe, will be there around the middle of the month as well. And we have Leo, so that's your second house of possession, self-worth, finances. So we'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. All right. In the main situation position, we have Justice. So this is the major arcana card for Libra, which for you guys is your fourth house of home, family. So could just be saying that there's the opportunity to restore balance around your home. For some of you, that could be maybe renovations. This could even be possibly family connections that you could see some improvement with as well. Now, I will say we're going to have, at the very end of the month, I believe Venus is going to move into that sign. Or actually, no, around the middle of the month, and then toward the end of the month, Mercury is going to move into the sign too. So there's definitely going to be some potential to improve that environment for you guys this month. All right. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Page of Swords. So it could just be saying that, what could be holding back having balance in that area could just be the reluctance to speak out. So just a super generic example, right? Just from what I'm seeing in the foundation position. Let's say that you feel like you're doing all of the work around the house, right? And you want to actually have some help, but for whatever reason you feel a little bit reluctant to actually communicate. Hey, could you guys help out around the house? Have a lot going on, right? Could even be that other areas of your life are taking away your usual amount of time that you would be able to put into those things. So, you're just hoping to have someone pick up the slack. So that's primarily what I'm seeing there. It seems like a fairly minor thing. Now, if this is around actual connections, right, like a family connection, for example, or maybe had a falling out with someone, looks like the same dynamic there, where it could just be saying that, that potential is there this month for sure, but it could just be that there's a reluctance possibly on both sides to actually come forward and communicate to get things back in balance. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Three of Pentacles. So this is Capricorn energy here. And to me, this does represent, that ability. I mean, we look at this and it definitely looks like a collaborative effort, right? And usually I say this is like a mixture of Saturn and Venus energy, but in a positive way, they're working together as far as, Saturn lending that longevity, the Venusian energy, lending to being something that you actually enjoy. So that's what I'm seeing there. Like I said, continuing that same example with the foundation could just be saying that as long as you speak up, there will be people willing to actually collaborate with you and help you out. If this is like maybe you have a falling out with your family, and you're in a romantic connection, could just be saying that they could be a good support system for you at this time. So maybe you could speak up to them about what's going on, like, hey, I'm having an issue with my cousin or whatever the case may be. And then they could actually be a good sounding board. And through talking it out with them, you might actually be able to get some good insight on how to handle that situation. All right. In the past position, we have the Tower and we have the King of Swords. So more air energy here, although this is an Aquarius card, so could just be saying that this might have been who you had a falling out with, right? Now, Aquarius energy for you guys is your 8th house, so for some of you, this could have been something related to finances as well. It could even just be saying that possibly this is something that took place back during Aquarius season, and now that we're actually going to be in Leo season, you get the opportunity to say things from the other perspective and actually, have those same themes come back around, but with a different vantage point, you have the ability to approach it from a different angle. See if anything else comes to mind. And of course, in a more mundane level, could just be saying that there was a argument of some kind, right? Given that the air represents communication, could have caused a tower moment in the past. Now, I do have to say, at the time I'm recording this, we're just about to have the first full moon in Aquarius, and then there's going to be another one toward the very end of Leo season. So, for those of you who physically watch this in the month of August, that could be a timeline thing too, where maybe, this conversation could have taken place during that first Aquarius full moon. All right. In the present position, we have the Three of Swords, which is Libra energy, and the Four of Wands. So interestingly enough, it almost looks like that same dynamic playing out again there, right? Where you have disappointment around the way things might be going in your home environment, again, given that this is Libra energy, where maybe you had the expectations that it would be a much more collaborative effort, right? So to me, in a way, normally I wouldn't see these two cards related so clearly, but in this particular case, it looks like it's pointing out that same theme, right? Maybe your expectations for how things were going to go versus how they're actually playing out. There's some disappointment there. And like I said, maybe it sounds easier said than done, but I feel like this is really pointing out that if you just have that conversation, you actually will be able to see things play out a lot more like in this energy, as opposed to what you're going through now, where you might feel like you're the one putting in all the effort around things. All right, in the near future position, we have the Two of Swords, so again, more Libra energy, and the Nine of Cups, which is Pisces energy. So, interesting mixture of energies here too, because again, we see the inaction as far as I feel like there's not communication actually taking place. And what could be underlying that is, I do have to say, either you or the other person, right, could just be convinced that they have it all figured out. Because this is ninth house energy for you guys, which is Pisces energy, and that could be representing, looking at things from a higher perspective. But at some points, if we look at the actual body language of this person, then that comes across as a little bit smug too, So it'll just be one of those things where you're like, well, I know this is the way it should be, and I shouldn't even have to address this with the person, you know what I mean? Just something more along those lines there. That's one generic way of looking at it. But yeah, again, I feel like this is another thing. This is saying that the reluctance to speak, but if you actually were to do so, I feel like this is saying that would bring you into that Nine of Cups energy, right? So again, like I said, just a super generic, random example, since I'm seeing so much fourth house energy here. If you're doing all the chores around the house and no one's helping you out, right? Like this is saying that if you communicate that you need a little help, this could actually be you actually, able to sit back a little bit and actually have someone else helping out around the house. Maybe some of you have kids, for example, and they've just been going crazy all summer, making messes. Could be as simple as that. Doesn't have to be like a major thing, but at least that's a tangible example I could give you guys. All right, and the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Ten of Wands. So this is Sagittarius energy here. And so for some of you, this can be around the workplace as well, I do have to say, given that Sag energy is your sixth house. So same dynamic there, though, right? Like if you're in the workplace and you feel like you're the one doing the majority of the heavy lifting in the workplace, could just be saying that you might need to have a conversation there to actually have some people come around, help you out, have a more collaborative effort in that regard, too. And this could just be saying, try not to take on too much, too, So if you have that mentality like, well, if I don't do it, no one's going to do it, could just be saying that could lead to burnout for you guys potentially, too. All right. In the environment position, we have the Emperor, which is a major arcana card for Aries, Wheel of Fortune, which represents Jupiter, Queen of Cups, which is actually the court card for you guys, and the Eight of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy. So, given that your card popped up in your environment, I feel like for the majority of you, this is coming up as your energy, but it could certainly be your interplay with another person too. So again, like I said, going back to the work example, maybe there's a boss that you need to actually communicate with. And this could just be saying that the timing is actually good to do so, right? Where you just let them know, hey, I feel like I'm taking on too much here. And then you actually see a bit of a lightening of your load, right? Because we see you have the 10 wands there. Now we see an 8. And that could just represent a lot more movement as well. So that's primarily what I'm seeing that as. And then another way, if this is maybe, I would say, looking at your oracle card, the name of that one is flexible. So for some of you, if it's another way too, where it could just be saying that because you've just been accustomed to being the one who's always running things around the household, Could just be saying that, if you've been dead set on this is the way we need to do it and that's that, right? It could just be saying that now you might actually see that it could be time to be a little bit more flexible there, and then that could actually lead to more collaboration as well. So, a couple different ways that could be playing out, but hopefully one of those resonated. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have Temperance, which is Sag energy again, Page of Wands, the World, and Eight of Pentacles. So, interesting mixture of energies here. Now, of course, the Temperance is another energy that points to balance, similar to what we see with the Justice card. Page of Wands represents taking action. The World represents successful completion. And then the Eight of Pentacles, of course, is like a work energy. So, could just be saying that, once you work through this cycle, by the time we get to Virgo season, since this is a Virgo energy here, you'll actually see more of a collaborative effort. That's primarily what I'm seeing there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I'm getting from that. And I do have to say, again, keep in mind, too, that Virgo is your third house communication, and we did see that come up, too. So it could just be saying, again, emphasizing that this would be a good time to communicate. And like I said, with Mars and Venus both in Virgo, and even Mercury's going to be there for a bit, good time to communicate, too. All right, in the outcome position, we have the Two of Cups. So this is actually Cancer energy. And here we see what looks like a meeting of the minds, right? So I feel like this is pointing to exactly what I've been seeing throughout the spread, which is to say, once you actually do communicate, we actually will see a meeting of the minds where you feel like you're both on the same page, right? So whether it's a work scenario, a romantic relationship, family connection, whatever the case may be, this is definitely a good card to see come up in the outcome position. All right. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups. So this is Pisces energy here, technically. But to me, it could just be saying, looking at things, like I said, from that higher perspective, coming forward, communicating what needs you have, and then things should unfold in a positive way from there. And of course, if this is just you communicating and bringing to someone's awareness that, hey, I feel like I've been doing a lot of the work here, this could represent their energy as well, softening up a bit and being more of a collaborator with you too. So, pretty good spread overall. Moving on to your Oracle card, we have Flexible. There's the artwork, and the number is 19. So we'll see what we get with that. Okay, it says teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. The Oracle's message: a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane, whereas a rigid structure like a building would come crashing down. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now, willing to learn new things, teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. So yeah, especially like that last sentence there, because that brings back what we were saying with the Justice card, where like I said, I feel like it really just might be as simple as you guys might need to have that conversation, and then things should clear up and you'll get more of that collaborative effort you're hoping for. The relationship message says, in every relationship, it's important to be open to new experiences and learning new things. Letting go of rigidity is what's required right now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? It's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when you meet halfway. The appearance of this card in a reading could also signal that you have met someone new who may not be your type, but who will turn out to be so special that you can easily release your old ideas about what sort of partner is right for you. Be flexible. You'll be happy you made that choice. So, pretty positive message there as well. I didn't get a huge romantic vibe from this, but I will say that if so, I feel like this is more someone you're already with as opposed to someone new, but hopefully that resonates with you. Worst case, we'll be doing love readings next week. All right, and the prosperity message says, even when you have a clear vision of how you're going to manifest something, what it will look like, who will share in it, and what will be available to you, you still need to relax and open up to other possibilities. Spirit may have much better plans for you. It could be a job you hadn't thought of, a new source of money, or some other opportunity that eluded your imagination. Be flexible and remind yourself, This or something better manifest for me now. Then be willing to bend a little. Enjoy the miraculous results. All right, so pretty positive message there too, and I wonder for some of you that could be what that emperor thing was pointing to, where I mentioned that briefly, where it could just be one of those things where if you're dug in on just doing things one certain way, could be causing some blockages in that regard too. So hopefully that resonated with you if that's the case. But lastly, we'll look at your Mudra card. So this is your Mudra here. It's the Kilaka Mudra, and the keyword for it is union. All right, and there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. But under benefits, it says tonifies the water element in the body, improves the function of the kidneys, bladder, and sexual glands, fosters a sense of emotional safety and comfort around intimacy and sexuality. Can also be used as a devotional gesture to express or evoke the union of masculine, Shiva, and feminine, Shakti. So if that sounds like a Mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of it in the description video as always. I'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.